Hi, this is Ed Robinson. Yeah, hear me? Without further ado, I could chant it now for the queen of all media. Na 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 na, Mama Kendra, oh, you're the greatest, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. See, let the truth be known. Never had a boring moment in our lives. With Kendra on the radio, we are never alone. We're never by ourselves. We always have someone to call out. Yes, yes, yes. So from out the blue she came, yeah. She brought us the sun when there was rain. We're no more here alone.
Hey, yours truly, Kendra here. We are so live. We're live all over the world. www.bronxnet.org. Tell a friend to tell another friend and click on channel 68. I want to say God bless everyone. We are coming out of the pandemic, and I have a great guest here to get us through what we need to know for health insurance. And first, I want to do this. This show is dedicated to my nephew that you saw on the screen opening up. He passed away, 30 years old, and he had a heart attack. So rest in peace to my nephew, James Weathington. We love you, sweetheart. And just to say, that inspired me to go on this healthcare binge, what you call it, that we have to get ourselves together because we're not promised anything. So here we go. I want to do this. I want to welcome my guest, Calvin Lopez-Whitworth, to the show. And he is from Hamaspik. And he's going to help us out today. So he's going to tell us all about the perks of health insurance. He's going to tell us opening and closing, when we should do this, when we should do that. We got a Social Security increase coming up. It's called COLA. You guys can look it up. Just go under the COLA, the new thing that says COLA. Put in COLA, put in SSD, SSI, and you'll see that there's a big increase, the biggest increase in Social Security. So I just wanted to let you know that. So I'm going to do this. Thank you, Chris Norwood from Health People, because she sent it to me. I said, I'm going to tell everybody. So I want to do this. I want to welcome my guest to the studio. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Calvin.
Fantastic. Great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. There's so many people that are underserved in our communities that are uneducated about their health, how to apply for health, how to make sure that their health insurance is even active, after applying for it. And coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people were, really affected by COVID, and some of that long COVID effect needs to be managed, whether it's just drinking water, making sure you have adequate insurance to get your telehealth checks, or if you're going into an office to see a doctor. So a lot of that's very important. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're going to have a great conversation about health insurance today.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I want to do this. You see this big basket? So Calvin said, I want to present this to you on air. And it's from, tell them the name of your organization again.
Yes, so basically this is from Hamaspik. Hamaspik is a Medicare plan in the market of New York. And basically on behalf of us folks over here at Hamaspik, I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a joyous one and
Thank
a healthy
you. I'm
one.
so excited.
So we got you some healthy fruits.
See what I'm talking about? And don't forget, it's like 1 or 2 chocolates in here. Mm-hmm. I think, I'm going to give them, I'll try to stay away from that chocolate. So Katrina is here today. Angel, Ian is here today. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have to, give it away, right? Okay. That's okay, right?
That's okay.
Sharing is caring, right?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And I'm a sharer, by the way. You guys know me. You know I'm a sharer. Mm-hmm. So I want to do this. I want to welcome you and tell the folks, because you have, I looked for you. I searched you up to look to find you because you have been in this business for quite a long time, helping families. And I knew that this is your specialty. And I said, we need to find out, we need to make sure we have health insurance, life insurance. I think if the pandemic didn't tell us something, it told us that. Mm-hmm. That those are the 2 things that we really, and good health care. Go to the doctor, make sure you make a list. a checklist before you go to a doctor's appointment. Because if you go in there already knowing, don't forget to look at my toes and my feet, because that's important if you're diabetic. Chris Norwood taught me that from health people. Look at my feet, doctors still, they don't want to do it. So we got to just be on top of it, everybody. And we're going to be on top of it together. I promise. Life is short and we're not going to play around. I want to do this, Calvin. So let's start off. What does your company name mean?
So Hamaspik means provider. It's a Jewish company, and the name Hamaspik means provider. So, they're a well-known company, been around for almost 2 decades, providing services in different communities. And to this day, there's a lot of recognition in upstate New York and then as well as downstate.
Downstate. Well, I know you know all the tough questions, and your organization is pretty lucky to have you. So if you guys are looking today and you're watching the show, this guy right here, you got a good guy on your team. I want to thank you, Calvin. We go back, and I want to do this. Tell me what you did before, because that brought you in this direction. So tell the folks what you've been doing for many, many years.
Yeah, so I've been in the managed care industry since 2005. So basically, I've done a multitude of positions, leadership, sales producing. I worked at various companies, names that I did 5 years at Health First. I did another 10 years at United Healthcare. Wow. And then I recently joined Hamaspik this year.
I'm going to clap for that one. You guys are lucky. Woo, you guys are lucky over there. You have the best. So I want to do this. I'm going to ask you a few questions. First of all, we have a lot of changes, coming. And we talked about, I mentioned COLA earlier, because me and you spoke about COLA before we, during the break before we started today. And COLA is very important because it's going to come back to some medications that are going to be lower. So I think we're headed in the right direction. We haven't been going in this direction for quite a while. A big increase in Social Security. Normally it's like $5. You'll notice a $5, $8 change. But this is pretty much a bigger change. So I want you guys to just be prepared to look out for a little bit more money from Social Security under COLA. So
yeah, basically the COLA is the cost of living adjustment, and those are the acronyms COLA. And it basically is just a way of federal government giving a little bit more of an increase to folks that are on Social Security. So whether you're retired, or if you're disabled, or you're on receiving supplemental or one of those programs from Social Security, the increase is 8.7%. So basically, whatever it is that you're making now, they say on average is going to go up, maybe $147 or so.
Wow.
And again, obviously everyone makes a different amount. So if you're making $1,800, $1,600, $1,400, then you'll see a more significant increase. But if you're in the 300s, 400, 500s, you'll see a moderate increase.
Nice.
But the idea is that little bit helps.
It does.
You ask anyone who's getting Social Security.
It helps. Trust me, they know that $8 increase. Y'all know about that one, right?
Yes,
so yes, I want to say thank you for that, Calvin.
Sure.
And there's a couple of things that I do want to go through. There's a lot of perks to healthcare. I think people don't realize it. But I wanted to talk about this because Medicare is always, how old do I have to be to get Medicare? And so it took a friend of mine to get it for me to say, okay, I'm going to inquire about this because I'm close to this. I'm getting close there,
well, you don't look
but I'm not there yet. So I asked you the big question of what age do you qualify for Medicare? So you gave me 2 different answers. So explain it.
Yeah, so typically the average person is going to qualify for Medicare at age 65. Right, so as of right now, if you were turning 65, you'll get a letter in the mail and it'll tell you, hey, you should be eligible for Medicare starting soon. If you're still working, you could choose to not join Medicare and wait until you retire, and then at whatever age you retire, then you'll still be eligible for your Medicare. So those are the folks that are turning 65. And then you have the folks that are disabled and under 65. So as long as they meet their criteria, which is hours worked or years worked, not hours, but as long as you meet that criteria, then you'll be eligible for Social Security disability. So if you're like disabled and you meet the work criteria, which is the 40 credits, then you'll be eligible for Medicare going on your 25th month of being on Social Security disability. And I think there's one other way. If you're on dialysis for your 4th month.
For your 4th month.
Okay. After your 4th month of being on dialysis, you'll also qualify for Medicare as well.
Wow.
So there you have 2.5 ways.
You know, SSD, the SSD way. I'm not going to be 65 right now. My birthday's coming up, but I'm not anywhere near 65. But I'm just saying, I was, you know, finding out I'm getting close, right, everybody? So, and there's nothing wrong with turning 65 is great because now you've done your life works and now you're ready to retire almost. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so 65 is great, yeah.
Yeah. And keep in mind, like you'll see there's you know, I've kind of been really general with the qualifications for Medicare, but there's folks that may have adult disabled children as well that qualify, survivors from you know, people whose husband or wife may have died. Also, certain diseases will qualify you for it. It all goes under disability, but yeah, sickle cell. There's Lou Gehrig's, ALS. There's a number of different qualifying, you know, statuses that would qualify you to apply for Medicare as long as you meet, you know, some of the other criteria as well.
Yes. Okay. So that was great. Really wanted to get into that with you, and I jotted down a few questions for you. So I hope you're ready for me. You
Sure.
guys better get your paper and pen because you know how I move on the show. You know we give out a lot of information on this show, so be prepared. And I want to thank Calvin. I'm going to thank him throughout this show for making time, for driving out here, to come out here to BronxNet for this interview because this is priceless. Like Jay-Z said, he made the song. He's giving you all this information. He got a painting for $1 million. He bought it was $1 million. Now it's worth $5 million. So this is all the information you're gonna get. And I'm not Jay-Z. I'm not asking for $9.99. I'm telling you to get all this information, and it costs nothing. It's free. I want to do this. I want to say thank you so much to Hamaspik for allowing this gentleman to take the day off to come down here to spend time for me to drill him about questions about how to get perks and how to get us all the benefits that we need. Let's, you know, get the most for our bucks, right? So I'll do this. So I wanted to ask, if possible, Calvin, if you can go into a little bit about, there's different federal health insurance programs, right? So do you want to talk a little bit about different insurance, you know, like A, B, C, D, things like that?
So basically, Medicare is a federal health insurance plan, and it has 4 parts. So a lot of folks are familiar with Part A and Part B. That part's, most folks have had those cards that say A and B on it and those effective dates for a long time. A generally has covered hospitalizations. Mm-hmm. B has covered like physician visits, doctor visits, and a multitude of other benefits as well. And then more recently, they added Part C and Part D. So Part D in 2006 came out and started covering prescription drugs. All right, and then Part C, which is the managed care plan. Now, for some of you folks that receive Medicare, you typically would receive your Medicare and You book. So a lot of folks are familiar with that book, and when you take a look in that book, it breaks down all the 4 parts of Medicare. So if you are one of those people that receive Medicare, you'd want to kind of take a look at that book. You can follow along. But yeah, basically, original Medicare covers hospitalizations, doctor visits. Part D covers prescriptions, and then Part C is the option that you can choose a managed care plan. And what managed care does is it basically covers all the benefits of original Medicare through a private health insurance company. And then when you do that, it allows you to get some benefits that you normally would not be entitled to through original Medicare.
Thank you. And we're going to talk about perks a little bit. I won't make y'all wait for the perks. I'm going to make y'all just got to wait. because the perks are going to be exciting. You're going to be like, what? So I want to do this. So let's do this. Let's go right ahead to some of the managed care networks and how it works, and what does it do for us? What kind of resources would it bring us?
Yeah, so what managed care is basically when you have a private health insurance that is managing your Medicare benefits. So for example, let's say if you had a private fee-for-service plan, or PFFS as we call it. So that's something that where, depending on where you live, and I'm not talking New York specific, I'm just in generally speaking, like depending on where you live, a PFFS plan might be the only option in your service area. And so what that does is it will allow you to save money on your doctor visits, hospitalizations, by seeing doctors that are in a network. Right. And then by joining that plan, you might get some extra benefits as well that Medicare doesn't cover. So basically, there's different types of managed care plans. And just to give you an overview, there's NHMO, there's the PPO. You guys heard those terms before. And basically, these are health management organization or health plans that basically you have a network, and you join this network, you see the doctors in the network, and by seeing doctors in that network, you have a fixed cost of what you would pay. Now, depending on if you have Medicare and Medicaid, or if you just have Medicare alone, those costs could be greatly reduced. Original Medicare covers, a deductible. There's a per day amount that you'd pay for hospitalizations, and there's a coinsurance for what you would pay if you go to see a doctor. Let's say a doctor visit costs $100, Medicare pays 80%, means that you'd be left having to pay that 20%, which would be $20, right? Now, let's say if you see a really, really good doctor, right, and that doctor charges $250 for a visit, that 80% would cover, with 80% of $250. That doesn't even, it sounds a lot to me, right? So by, let's say that same doctor, though, if they're in an HMO network with a health plan, then regardless of what that doctor would charge for fee-for-service or original Medicare, that your copay is $20 or $40 or whatever it is that your health plan establishes as the copay. So having those established copayments helps people to budget, and it helps people to kind of estimate their healthcare costs for the year. So if they're getting support from somewhere, or they're on a fixed income, it helps to know that, hey, look, if I choose this plan for this year, then I'll see my doctor once a month, and this is how much it's going to cost me, and this is how much my prescriptions are going to be, and all that.
I love it. All right, so we're going to do this. So now hold on to all this yummy information that you have. We're going to go right to a video, and we'll be right back, everybody, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Is he a good God? Oh, I can get the witnesses. Is he a good God? This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. Everybody, lift your voice. This is the air I breathe. Everybody say, this is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Yeah. And your living in me. Yes, it is. but your word is my daily bread. Come on, somebody. This is my daily bread. It's your word that gives me life. It's your word that gives me breath. This is my daily bread. Your very word, your very word, spoken to me, to me. Yes, and Father, I'm desperate for you. Where would I be without your presence, Lord? And I, yeah. I'm so lost without you, Jesus. I'm so lost without you, Lord. If it's the air you breathe, lift your voice one more time. This is the air I breathe. Everybody say, yeah. Without your word, Lord, it feeds my soul. This is my daily bread. Hallelujah. Your very word, your very word, spoken to me, spoken to me. Lift your hands wherever you are tonight. And I say, and I I'm desperate for you. I'm desperate for you. As the deep pants for the water, so my soul longs for you. And I'm so lost without you. I'm so lost without you. I'm so lost without you, Jesus. I'm so lost without you, Lord.
Joe Metal, everybody. We are so back in studio with my guest, Calvin Lopez-Whitworth from Hamaspik. And I'm giving you guys all of the secrets in healthcare. So we're going to go right back to another question that I have for Calvin. But I want to do this. I want to just say, I want to remind everybody that we are celebrating Cancer Awareness Month. I was out there. We were doing a bunch of things for cancer awareness. I want to thank Bronx Lebanon Hospital for allowing me. People came in, they did their exams, pap smear, breast exams, and they were driven to another location to do the separate exams. And then I also want to thank, we did PrEP and PEP health people. I want to thank you so much. We've been covering PrEP and PEP month all month. And I want to do this. You know, I am a domestic violence survivor. We have been following up, calling, doing wellness checks. I think it's very important that we say this is a monthly thing, but this is a every minute thing. And so we live this. This is our lives. So I'm not going to go with this 1 month thing, but I just want to honor it that it's happening. And we're going to go right back to Calvin, and then I'm going to tell you about an event that's coming up that I'll be hosting on the 19th for autism awareness. And thanks to IC's organization, my good friend Mickey Benson and Jamil Flores. I love you guys, and I'll be out there with you on the 19th. We'll talk more about that, and we'll put the banners up. And I want to do this. We're coming right back to you, Calvin. So, Calvin, we're going to go in order because it's looking good right now. So now I have this next question. So what programs are available to help reduce healthcare prescriptions drug costs? What programs are out there for that?
Yeah, so there's a few programs. We call them like social service programs. And basically, we have what's called the Medicare Savings Program. Medicare Savings Program is a program that if you have Medicare and your income is, they say federal poverty level, but I would say in real numbers, if you're making somewhere between $1,800, $1,600, $1,400 or lesser, there should be a program that you qualify for, one of the Medicare Savings Programs. In order to find out which one specifically you qualify for, you'd have to just call HRA, or you could call your health plan carrier, and they could tell you which ones. But basically what those programs do is they subsidize what you have to pay for your health insurance or health insurance premiums, deductibles, co-insurances, and they can reduce it drastically. Some of these Medicare savings programs can reduce it to where your co-pays or co-insurance is zero, or some of it can reduce it to where at least they cover your premium for your Part B, or some of them can reduce your prescription drug costs. Okay. There's also another program that specifically reduces prescription drug costs. That's called the Low Income Subsidy Program. And again, if you have Medicare, if you call Social Security, they will be able to tell you if you qualify for a low income subsidy program, and it's just based off income. There's different levels to the low income subsidy, so depending on what your income is, it could reduce it again to nominal co-pays like $1, $2, or $5, $8, depending on what your income is.
Wow, that's substantial.
And then there's Epic. So Epic is one that there's more, you'll see a lot more people with that if their income is $75,000 or less, because then that way you qualify for a couple options that can reduce your prescription co-pays. All right, and that's if you're 65 and you live in New York State, then that will help you.
Yeah, because it breaks my heart when I hear that, like, our elderly are, they're getting older and they're spending all their money on prescription drugs and things like that. So it's pretty heart-rending when I see that happening.
Yeah, and I can tell you a couple stories how, we do our outreach in the streets, and we're, marketing at pharmacies, and I can tell you how sometimes folks will go in there and they don't know that they're eligible for these state pharmaceutical assistance programs. We call them SPAPs, which is Epic. And so they'll go in there and then they'll come back out without their prescriptions. And we'll be standing outside and we'll say, well, what happened and what's going on? And they'll say, well, I can't afford it. And we'll say, all right, well, let's get you on the phone with Epic and let's make a couple of phone calls. And man, Epic is so good, whereas you could call within a few minutes, as long as you have your information that they ask you for and you meet the criteria, which is income under $75,000, they can get you on a plan that the pharmacist can pull up right away and get your prescriptions reduced right there on the spot.
Unbelievable.
So that's something that you definitely, if you didn't write it down, write it down.
Yeah,
Epic.
exactly. Thank you. Get your paper and your pen. He's right. I told you in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, Epic is a great way if you need help right away and you're over 65 and your income's under $75,000 a year. You could definitely, tap in to see if you qualify for one of those programs.
So I want to do this. I want to ask you, where's your organization located?
So we have several locations. One is in Spring Valley, one in Muncie, in Brooklyn, and then a few spread out, in different areas. I work out of the Brooklyn location, so.
BK. So you BK people are super lucky, but not to say that he can't get you. He can get you all connected. And I want to do this. I want to bring this up because of autism and home care, and You guys know I'm always for the little ones, the bigger ones. Our kids are growing up. They're becoming young people on the spectrum, going to day programs, day halves without walls, and things like that. So the most things I always think about this for my families. Where they're going to be in another 10 years, where they're going to be residing, on what's next, what's coming down the pipe. But we want to make sure as they're growing, we're rearing them, that at least they have their home health aides. And that's the one thing I know about your company. So I'm trying to like get this connection y'all going on. So I'm trying to, you see where I'm going with this? Okay. So I'm trying to get like this intake person that's my best friend to put it, so I could like put it in my back pocket so I could just call her up and say, hey, I got this family that needs your help. So this is what I want to do. I want to talk about, so tell me about your company. You definitely have plenty of home health aides, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Hamaspik is, I guess their claim to fame would be in that arena. Like for more than 2 decades, they've been serving people with home care, long before the managed long-term care program. So a lot of times when you hear of Hamaspik, you probably heard it in that realm of home care, where they have the intake folks that come in and they they help with that, and they're basically providing services for thousands of people that need home care services, people with disabilities, people with mental health disabilities, people with autism, people with you name it. I'm sure that we are servicing folks with many different types of afflictions and mental health issues. So absolutely, that's kind of where they started at, and then expanded into Medicare and Medicare plans and MAP plans, as well as managed long-term care plans as well.
Okay, so you're gonna be my new best friend. When I say it like that, you know what that means, everybody. So he's gonna help me out with this. So we're gonna get an intake person. So when we do all these big events for autism, like we have an event coming up on November 19th. We have the Christmas event is coming up pretty soon. My son Isaiah plays every year the piano for this organization. And last year, thank you to Rana from Burger King. He allowed us to have the event there. I contacted him. He said, bring everybody. And we had music for the kids. We had a beautiful gift card for every child. We had extra gifts for everyone, not only just the child, but their siblings. And, we had gifts for the parents. I mean, nice gifts. I shop for my parents. I'll be shopping for y'all. So I want to say it's coming up again, the Aquarius Boys. I want to say thank you to Mick Benzo. Thank you so much. You guys know the art of rap. I want to say this to my good friend Jamil Flores. Thank you so much. LG, Q, wherever you are, the vice president. So many of us come together. The entire families that come out and donate to us, and then the folks that, like the Aquarius Boys. When I say the Aquarius Boys family and Mick Benzo's families, they are attached, and they all go out. And not only this year, I think Mickey told me last year that they even went out to the projects and handed out all these toys after they left our event. And that's Ice-T's manager. So, Mickey, thank you so much for all you're doing in the community. Jamil Flores, he came back and said, Kendra, I got a new one. So this is November 19th. This is the 3rd year. So I remember the first year, he called up a few parents and he dropped off some turkeys. And this year, the 2nd year, it was beautiful. So it was in the projects, and they gave away so many turkeys. There was food all around the stages in the building that they gave us. So it was not only it was the fixings, it was the turkey, and they had gifts for the children. So the children came out, the families came out, because Jamil said, Kendra, why should you guys have to cook with your kids for autism or run around looking for food to spend money? We got you. We stay home. We'll bring it to you. So he was delivering the turkeys. Jamil, why you ain't deliver the turkey again this time? No, I'm just kidding. So, but it's really nice when you go on location and see everybody coming together. You meet the families. So November 19th, it's going to be the 5th annual turkey giveaway, and it's going to be held at Williams Institutional Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, and that's 2239 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. And that's in Manhattan. and it's for children with autism and families on the spectrum, the autism spectrum. The time is 1 to 4, and I'll be your MC. I'll be your host. And I want to thank the Aquarius Boys, Pay Up Management, Mr. Biggs from Soul Sonic, Force, I love you, and Rock, Planet Rock. Mr. Biggs is out there every year. I remember Isaiah got this big bike one year. And the thing is that it comes from the heart. We are out there working. We are soldiers working together. During the pandemic, when we did the autism drive, when we did the Christmas drive, we drove from all the 5 boroughs. Me and Jamil packed up our cars, and we met up with everybody else that had gifts. And we just went borough to borough, delivering to every family that had a wish list. So nothing stops us. You know, this has been going on for over 10 years. And I want to thank you guys for bringing me on board and knowing how important this is to our families that have autism and the family and the children that need another outlet, and they meet new friends and they get to be sociable, and that's one of the parts of autism that's pretty tough, that it's hard to make friends. So thank you guys once again. It's November 19th. It's in the city. And I'll be out there hosting. So I want to do this. I want to go to another question, because we're just we're doing a ping pong, because we have so much good stuff to tell you guys about. I like that we brought up the cola. I like that we're talking about these plans that are saving people money. I wanted to ask you, this is what I did want to ask you. People always talk about if you don't enroll in your insurance, or if you don't jump off your insurance, you only have once a year or twice a year. How true is that?
Yeah, so, what I would say is, you don't want to fall for the scare tactics. Now, again, a lot of times you can make changes depending on the situations that you have. So the federal government makes what's called special elections for people that need to make a change in their health insurance, depending on if their circumstances change.
Right.
So let's say if you just got Medicaid, or just lost Medicaid, or you have applied for LIS, or you lost LIS, or there's a multitude of reasons. Also, there's weather emergencies that happen in New York, right? There's always something. Every year we've had a hurricane or a tropical storm that keeps people from being able to go out and make the changes that they need to make. And so that creates a special election as well for folks to make the changes that they need to make. Now, I think what most folks are referring to is what Medicare does is they have an AEP, which is the annual enrollment period. The AEP starts from October 15th through December 7th. Now, that's a time where no matter what your circumstance is, you can make a change. You can make actually as many changes as you like, but the last one that you make prior to January 1st would be the one that actually goes through. So, for example, if I sit down with a family and we talk about, and they say, hey, well, actually, I just joined another health plan. And I'll say, well, here's what my health plan offers. And also, you get me as your representative. And they may say, hey, well, you know what?
We'll take you. We'll take you.
Right?
Because you can call him anytime to find out something. You know how you get on the phone, beep, 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 and then nobody answers you. You keep calling all day. Well, that won't happen with you. So at the end of the show, we're going to put up a number, and you can reach out to him, and then you can ask him a bunch of questions, because we might have missed a few on this show, but I'm sure you have a bunch of questions, and we'll put that up for Calvin at the end of the show.
Basically. So that's basically what it is. So now if the family chooses to go with me and my plan, they can make that change, and it'll start January 1st. Then there's an open enrollment period, which starts on January 1st to March 31st. For folks that, let's say they chose a plan and they realize that the doctor's not covered, or some medicine's not covered, or something they don't like about the plan, or the service, is not great, then they can make a change as well throughout that period. Then after that, it's the SCP period, whereas if you have Medicare, Medicaid, LIS, some special election, you can make that. And then in the fourth quarter, what we call the lock-in period, whereas you'd have to have a change in circumstances in order to make an election period. It's a little more complicated. So I would say, look, if you have to make a change between October, November, and December, then you would need to, call Medicare or check with someone that's knowledgeable of the election period, someone like myself, someone that's doing the outreach at the trucks and that you see outside, and those folks can kind of tell you what your options are.
Thank you, Calvin.
Sure.
So what are the benefits of joining the plan?
Are you ready for that?
I think I'm ready. You guys ready for that?
All right, so here we go, right? So each plan kind of has its own bells and whistles, right? We call it because, in terms of co-payments and fixed co-pays and those types of things, those are pretty comparable amongst plans, right? Most plans will, it's $10 for primary, it could be a few, $30, $40 for specialists, what have you, but then it goes into ancillary benefits. And so that's where people really start to decide. One of the things that I've learned, in being in this business for so long is no matter how great your plan is, if the dental isn't that great, you're probably back in the market the next year looking at, what can I get done? Especially if you're a senior, you need realignments, you need this, you need crowns, you something broke, something, whatever the case is. And so that's where the plan comes in and says, well, hey, here's what we have, based off of whatever your situation is, your income and what have you, here's what plans you qualify for. If you choose this plan, here's what the dental is. Here's what the hearing aids, right? Some folks, you ever, as your parents start getting older and they start saying, huh, more, right?
Say, huh, more.
Right? The first, they used to hear you fine. Now it's, huh, what do you say? Right? So now, you have the opportunity to talk to them. Hey, maybe you need a hearing aid, and these health plans, they cover that type of stuff. So those are some of those things. And then glasses. Right. I think glasses is something that's important as you're getting old. Yeah.
See these? Yeah.
Right.
I need 2 different pair. One for long distance, for distance, and one just to read with. So how would you help me?
Yeah. So basically, you would give the member an allotment of monies to apply towards their glasses. And depending on the plan you choose, you could get a dollar amount. It could be $100, $200, whatever the specific plan covers. And then, usually the eye stores have gotten so good now that they usually have a section now that you walk in and you can choose a pair of glasses from the section that is covered by most health plans.
Wow.
Right? So that's how
it's true because, I've seen it. Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Yeah, you walk in there and they'll tell you, hey, well, here's the section if you're paying with your insurance, and then then here's all the Gucci and Prada stuff, right?
Some insurance companies have been pretty good lately, so you never know if to get a halfway Gucci or a halfway Prada.
Yeah, I mean, mix and match, right? Yeah. Or so those are some of those things, and then we got what's called the added value benefits, right? So we talked ancillaries, which is something, the glasses, the hearing aids, and stuff. Okay. And then we have what's called added value services, and that's where people really can make a decision to get a really great benefit. So they have what's called the OTC card.
Yahoo! Sweet. That's what I was waiting for. The perks. Tell me about the perks. Sweet.
Right. So basically, the OTC card stands for the over-the-counter card. All right. Now, this is an amazing benefit that's been out for a while now. But basically, this over-the-counter card allows you to go into either a pharmacy or one of these dollar type stores, even a supermarket, a place like that, and you can purchase non-prescription over-the-counter drugs. So you can buy things like vitamins, aspirins, toothpaste, toothbrushes. You can purchase, any of those things. Sometimes the doctor tells you, hey, you need vitamin D, you need vitamin A, you need vitamin whatever. It's not covered by your prescription drug card, but you can use your over-the-counter card to purchase those types of things. Then there's also where now you can purchase some healthy foods.
Really? Are you kidding?
With your OTC card. Yes. So
where is this at? Where do you go to? What stores do you go to?
Basically, you use the same card, and you're able to go to a supermarket or a meat market or a butcher shop, and now you can purchase fresh produce. Even some of these fresh farmers markets, you can purchase milk, eggs, cheese.
Jesus Christ!
You can purchase, stuff like that. And what I've seen in the marketplace coming up for this year is now some companies are allowing you to use your OTC card for utilities.
I told you. Yeah. What did I tell you guys?
I know.
Did you say utilities?
Utilities.
You take your OTC card and you go to Con Edison?
Well,
I mean,
Sorry
I
like
mean,
that.
I don't mean to say any particular brand, but
Well, basically,
PS,
there's
any one of those?
a process. You go to an app, you go to a website, and you can kind of register and then make the payments and stuff off
Oh
your
my
OTC
good-
card. Yeah, so there's benefits like that, and,
That's
and
perks.
again, I'm just being transparent with you. These are some real good benefits that help a lot of people. And there's a case for it because if the care plans don't do this, then who will?
yes.
Think about how necessary it is for you to have a phone for
Right.
your health.
Right.
And a lot of times, you would say, I would use this card to pay for, my phone. Phone is a utility. Your house phone, your whatever it is. Some people use it to pay whatever utility is important to them. Heat, right? Think about how much gas or oil you might burn just washing clothes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like me and you wash clothes, or you got grandparents in the house and they're helping out with stuff, you're burning a lot of things there. So the utilities kind of go up, and if you have an opportunity
OTC,
to
wow.
offset some of that cost, then sure. These are just some of the perks and benefits of having a managed care plan, and each managed care plan is different, and each has its own allotment of how much you can spend. But for the most part, those are some of the types of benefits that are offered through the OTC card.
Freeze. Okay, freeze right there. Don't give them everything. They're going to
Okay.
call you after the show.
Okay.
So we're going to put up Calvin's number so you can call Calvin after the show. Do not blow him up until I leave him. Give me 15 minutes with him. And I want to do this. I want to say we're going to go to a few photos, and we'll be right back, I promise. Right back with Calvin.
Thanks.
Yes. So this event, you see Jamil Flores sitting down there, even with a broke leg, he's out there for Queen Lisa Lee Day and Queen Amber. We couldn't get Queen Amber's video up. They received awards from Vanessa Gibson, the borough president, Vanessa Gibson's office. And I want to thank Rocky Buchanan from the Hip Hop Museum. I want to thank Mick Benzo, the Art of Rap, Icy's manager, for holding this thing down. LG was out there. Jamil Flores, even with that broke leg, he did not stay home. He had a procedure done and he did not stay home. That's Jamil. He's everywhere. So I want to give Rita Mae. That's right. Rita Mae will dress up as a Cookie Monster for autism. So she's done it many times. So we're going to go to the next photo. That's right. The legendary Busy Bee. That's right. He was out there to be a part of the honoring of Queen Lisa Lee and Queen Amber. And I just want to shout out the Zulu Nation. And Chief, yeah, man, this is big. Next photo. That's right. He was doing it. Got to talk to him for a few minutes, chop it up. And, okay, yes. Okay. So so I'll look on this side behind me. We missed that. Oh, so Sonic Force. Rock, Planet Rock. Mr. Biggs. He's always out there holding us down for autism. We're Busy Bee. Chief Rocker Busy Bee. Iconic. This is like iconic. Legend. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah, I got in between those two guys for a minute there. It was amazing. We had a great time. Next photo. Kevy Kev. This is Ice-T's DJ. We got LG. I spoke to LG yesterday. Big event coming up on the 12th at the museum, the Hip Hop Museum, and I'll be out for that one on the 12th of next month of November. And it was amazing. Next photo. Next photo. Okay. Okay, it's okay. So we're gonna I guess we'll come back in and then we'll go to that next yeah, we'll come back in. And then yeah, we're back. We're back on the set. We are so back on the set. And I want to do this. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. And maybe I can ask you I can squeeze in one more question before you leave here, because this was just so amazing today. I want to talk about the difference between the Obama plan and Medicare Advantage plans. So what is the difference?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think a lot of folks kind of hear about the Obama plans or the metal plans, the gold, platinum, bronze, silver, right? So we have what's called the marketplace in New York. And in that marketplace, there's a lot of options for health insurance. And this is just speaking in general for folks. If you do not qualify for Medicaid or Medicare, then you will qualify for one of these metal plans. And so when you go onto the shop, which is a website that's administered by the state, then you're able to go ahead and apply for one of these metal plans. And they have a premium, there's a cost, you choose which one is most cost effective for you. But basically it's designed so where it's affordable health insurance, which is part of the whole Affordable Health Care Act, which is supposed to make healthcare more affordable for New Yorkers or for people in America in general. But that's the difference. If you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, then you can go into the shop or the state health insurance portal and basically apply for one of these. They call them quote unquote Obama plans or the metal plans or one of these state subsidized health insurance plans.
Well, I love this. This was like an amazing segment. So I'm going to do this. I just want to recap a little bit. I want to, I don't know if we have the photos from Health People, if we can get it up. And we do have a flyer from Promise Kept Ministries. Yes, you can join us on any given Sunday. You can join us for fellowship. I don't know if you have your own church, but you can come online and get fellowship afterwards. Or if you don't have your own church, or if you just want to come in and listen for a few minutes, you can come in. And we have a flyer that we're going to post up so you can get all the information so that you can come in and fellowship, do worship, whatever it is that you need, we want to be there for you. And we also have Christian counseling there as well. And we also have Christian counseling classes as well, which I'm a part of at this moment. And classes are starting tonight for me. Don't feel sorry for me. But I want to do this. I want to say everybody that this has been amazing. But we are focusing on eyes at Health People. So Chris Norwood, I went in yesterday and I work for Health People. By the way, I am their media liaison. That's right, their social media liaison. So you'll see me posting a bunch of things that refer to all kind of things in the community and health. So I did an interview for Eyes yesterday because we're going to take that to wherever we need to take that so that the politicians kind of understand what the people really need out here so that we can manage ourselves so that we don't lose our limbs, we don't lose our eyes. I mean, I found out I was going blind in this right eye because of swelling, and I had to do it. I did this, and this is how I found out because I was like this. So I think like we need to be told what's important, what we need to do. And some of the doctors are not following up. If you're diabetic, you have to have a foot exam. If you're diabetic, you should be having routine eye exams. There's just, it's no excuse for it. So we have a lot to do. I want to thank Chris Norwood. I was with Evelyn Rivas yesterday. And I was with Rosa. We were talking about some things, getting some bucks, like, you know, for the farmers market. They get these little bucks that have been handing out, you know. So you could just take those little bucks that you get, and you can, if you get like a supplement of food stamps or something, it will grow those bucks that are being handed out to you. But I'd like to see that, you know, more bucks are given out. And those little bucks you take to the farmers market. So you can buy fruits and vegetables. You know, you could leave there with a bag of something, but, you know, can you get 2 bags so you can feed all the kids some good healthy fruits and vegetables? That's the goal I'd like to see happen. So we have a lot to do and a lot of health care. So I just want to say thank you, Chris Norwood of Health People. Yes, the executive. Yeah, doing all this big stuff. She came along on the scene way back, and this is, you know, when AIDS first came about, and she started doing so many programs for the women, for the men. So we have a lot to thank her for. And then she's done so much after that. Diabetes. We've had the young mentorship programs that she has. So we have so many programs that I've personally worked with her. The incarceration program. So we have a lot of programs that help people. And this one lady, that's why she said, Kendra, the other day she said, I'm glad you're back. And I'm glad to be back. This is my honoree. to be back to help you do whatever you need. So we'll be running the pavement. You'll see us both together a lot in down at City Hall, fighting for what people need. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to see if there's any more photos. If there's any more, okay. So we missed those 2 photos, but I want to say thank you for joining us. We'll get, when we come back next, it'll be the birthday show. So we're going to start off with this. And so we almost had a countdown, right, guys? Where are we at for time? Because I've been looking at this basket because I want to like take a piece of fruit, a strawberry or something healthy. So where are we at for time, guys? Let me see. I'll take this one. Calvin, you could join me if you want. You take one, I take one.
All right, cool. Well,
Okay. So we're going to go 2 minutes, and we have about 2 minutes left. I just want to remind you guys about something that's going on. You guys want one? I wish I could just like hand it to you. Look, share it with me. Take a bite. I can't talk and eat, so I'm going to do this first. November 19th, don't forget, if you don't have your turkey yet, come on out, join me. I'll be hosting. It's going to be going down. It's from the Aquarius Boys, Pay Up Management. So many people that are involved. November 19th, turkey giveaway. That's going to be at William Institutional Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, and that's 2239 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. Get a pen, write that down. And that's going to happen on the 19th. And it's going to be from 1 to 4, especially if you have a child with autism. If you don't, we've never turned a person away. But we really want to see the families come out. And if you can't make it out for any particular reason, I remember being there last year dropping turkeys off to families with children on the spectrum. They couldn't make it out. So just let me know. You can look for my information afterwards. And I just want to give a big shout out to, to so many people. You guys tune in all the time. And to every loyal supporter that watches Crossover TV, I just want to shout you out. Promise Kept Ministries, you can come online. Do you know let me see, what's the information? Can you guys put up the flyer for me for Promise Kept Ministries so we can give them all the information they need? Okay. I tell you what, you can contact me after the show, and I'll get personally, I know I'll be there this Sunday. You can join me. So I'll give you the information. All of my information is at the end of the show. If you want Calvin's number, just tune into the end of the show. We are about to get out of here. Next week is the birthday show. So I'll bring Isaiah up here. This is our typical thing. Some people cannot make it in studio because of COVID. And then we always have like 40, 50 people in here on our birthday. Okay, so I'm wrapping it up. We'll see you next week. Some folks are giving us our gifts now. Some people are sending us gift cards, and we always share our gifts. So it'll probably get donated to Autism Awareness Month, and we'll be giving out things on December for Christmas. So lock your dolls, everybody. It was a pleasure joining you today. I want to thank my guest. Thank you so much, Calvin Lopez-Whitworth.
Thank you.
Now we can take a bite. You guys want some?
It's pretty good.
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe.